Welcome back to the OTB podcast, the original and still the best New Zealand mountain bike podcast. Trek Factory Racing has just announced their lineup for 2025, and as I'm sure you've already guessed, Lachie Stevens-Mcnabb has made the jump up to the factory team for the coming season. One of the breakout stars of 2024. There's no doubt about it that Lachie deserved a spot in the nearly entirely new roster for the team. Also alongside the only returning member of the team, fellow Kiwi Sasha Ernest. We got a chance to have a catch up with Lachie to talk about the new deal, as well as his new teammates and everything that's going on for 2025. The OTB podcast is brought to you by Maxxis Tyres, New Zealand's tyre of choice. From the original High Roller to the Minion and the Assegai, and now the new High Roller 3, Maxxis is synonymous with downhill racing. On to the show.
Nice. Very nice. Front and back. Leader's garment. Quite happy.
It's alright, isn't it? Looks pretty good in that bad boy.
Excellent, I think the word you're looking for is... Look at that thing. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Beautiful.
Now, only if you're ready for this.
All right, sitting here with Lachie Stevens-Mcnabb. Big news would have just dropped after a pretty damn good season. Going to a factory teammate. Can you tell us about the new deal?
Yeah, no, I'm stoked. It's a little bit surreal still. Yeah, Trek Factory, like one of the biggest teams, and yeah, it's hard to put words to it sometimes. When it felt like the other day that I was watching Brookie and George and Sam like racing World Cups, like Croatia World Cup where Brooke qualified first and Sam was on the podium. Felt like yesterday, so to now be in that position that those boys were feels pretty surreal to be honest.
Yeah, I mean you've had a pretty like meteoric rise, I'd almost call it. You did pretty damn good in juniors, but you also were kind of in the shadow a bit, I guess, of Jackson Goldstone, who's been on everyone's radar since he was on a run bike kind of thing. But like the last couple of seasons, you've definitely just delivered some pretty awesome like results. So yeah, I could imagine you kind of like, holy shit, like sort of here already.
Yeah, through juniors definitely was in the shadow of Jackson and Jordan. That was pretty competitive 2 junior years, and I think that's been definitely was a help in me getting to here. But I think this last year I've made a massive gain compared to what I was in juniors. You know, I had a couple of good races, but usually I was the third best guy.
Yeah.
I got second once, not far off a win, but there was a lot of times that I was third. Yeah. 4 seconds off. So yeah, I guess I was in the shadows a bit, and I think I'm pretty good at flying under the radar.
Yeah.
I
think that's a Kiwi thing though, right? You know, we kind of like, I don't know, as a Kiwi, you kind of don't want to be almost in the spotlight so much.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I'm not a big fan of jumping up and down in front of a camera.
I think that's probably changed. They had to change a bit this year though, with the way things have gone.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't mind being in front of cameras, but I think I like to think that I stay pretty the same.
Yeah.
Whether I'm talking to people privately or talking to a camera.
Yeah.
I've had to cut down on the swear words a little.
Yeah, was there something on the hot mic at Mont Saint Anne? I heard maybe there was some swear words or something that had been caught on that.
We were just talking about the after party.
I missed that.
Yeah, he was just like, he whispered something in my ear, and then I was like laughing and said it loudly. And he was like, "Bro, there's a mic down there," but I was just talking about getting pissed up.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty fair at the end of the season, but going back on track to where we're at, I mean it's I think probably one of the best things for me, like as a fan of you racing, is seeing you stay on the platform you're already on, like on Trek. Like that's got to be mentally pretty nice for you, being like, I'm on the same bike, but obviously you're probably going to have a shitload more support. Like, I mean, obviously you were getting supported well already, you know, to what level the union could, but must be nice just being like kind of continuing that build of where you're at with a good bike and a good program.
For sure, yeah. I think it's always pretty nerve-wracking changing bikes.
Yeah.
It was a pretty easy transition onto Trek, just from like my injuries last year. I didn't ride a whole lot before I got on the Trek, and they gave me the bike pretty early. So it was a relatively easy transition. But yeah, I'm stoked to be staying on the same stuff, and I love the company. I love the people that I'm going to be dealing with, and I really appreciated them kind of believing in me when I probably shouldn't have got a ride last year with the union.
Yeah.
Like, loyalty is a pretty good thing for me, and when I see people kind of take a chance on me, like Joe did, and Trick did too, like they got a say in it. And when they take a chance on me, I really appreciate that, and hopefully it's a beginning of a long relationship.
Yeah, and that's cool. Is it a multi-year deal? Like, I mean, if you're comfortable telling us.
Yeah, 2+1 at the
Awesome.
start.
Yeah.
I think, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Personally, I want to stay there. I would love to stay at Trek my whole career.
Yeah.
But if you never know what's going to happen, and you never want to get. I don't really know, but Joe helps me a lot.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get locked into something for 5 years that might turn to shit.
Yeah. I guess I think it's always a challenge with bikes as well, because it's like kind of everyone's chasing new stuff. And I mean, Trek have always had a solid bike. It's not like they've really had a bike that hasn't been competitive for a long, long time, but it's like, yeah, you can all of a sudden be put onto some new platform of a bike that you might not gel with. So I guess that's always the challenge. But I guess if you're in that sort of, like that couple of year deal, it's nice to have that security and comfort as well, and with a good program.
Yeah, for sure. And like how, it's a good starting point, and they're the same. I think they're pretty keen to build long-lasting relationships. Like, you look at their riders like Semenuk and
for sure,
R-Dog and Casey Brown, like they've been there forever. And even their the riders that they've had in the past on Trek Factory Racing, they've been there for a while. And I think there's been some things that haven't worked out, and that's just the way it happens. And
that's natural.
From both parties, it's like they wouldn't want me on a 4-year deal either. It's like you never know what can happen.
Exactly.
So, even though we sign not long contracts, we've got we want to stay. Work together for a long time.
Yeah. So it must be quite nice. You've got, I assume he's like pretty damn good mate of yours, Ollie Davis on the team too, which must be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, one of my best mates. Did our junior years.
Yeah.
And first year elite together on the union, and I think he's going to come over this summer.
Oh, nice.
To my place, and we bounce off each other super well and push each other, and we almost like fight like brothers sometimes. So we're not worried to piss each other off, or if we do piss each other off, it always ends up all good.
Yeah.
So it's cool to have someone like that we can bounce off, and now we're on the same team. It's pretty unreal, like ideal situation.
Yeah. It's pretty cool to see how that development with, like, I know he wasn't on Trek with Union, but it's like that kind of development that's come through from Union now, and like you guys almost graduating up into like the factory side of things, which is quite cool.
Yeah, and that was the goal from Joe from the beginning.
Yeah.
He never started the Union for his own gain or for the gain of anyone else. It was literally to help people who don't necessarily have the opportunities that European riders have, or even just people that don't have the opportunities that some people have.
Yeah, kind of helping the underdogs.
Yeah,
and I think Joe's good at spotting talent too. Like, he's had some awesome riders on that team already, and it's short span. So,
like, Ollie's War, Ben's War, they're both now on other teams. Ollie, he was on the syndicate.
Yeah.
Chris Hauser won his first World Cup
Yeah.
as a junior. He's had a couple struggles this year, but he'll bounce back. He's a good rider. It's just, it happens, you know.
Yeah.
People have hard years. And then, you know, I've loved actually being on the team with Frida.
Yeah.
She's like she's probably the smartest person I know, and she just loves racing bikes.
Yeah. It's funny. I didn't know, I don't know much about her, watch her racing and that, but I was talking to Joe a little while ago, just off the record stuff, and he was telling me, how, clued up she is, how analytical she is with everything, and it's pretty cool to see that how just dialed in she was, and testing everything and super into it, which is cool.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too much sometimes. But yeah, I think she's just about to finish up a PhD, and I don't even know what it is, but I can't wrap my head around it.
Something that you and I can't understand.
Yeah, no, exactly. So it was cool to spend time with her, and then we got to know Dak real well.
Yeah.
She's with Dak, and so we had an awesome crew. And then obviously picked up Ali, and Ali's done super good, and moving on.
Yeah. We'll have to save that one for a different podcast, though, I think. Her news, but and then Matt Walker joining the team too. Yeah. So that's English Matt Walker, just to clarify in case anyone gets confused. But that's pretty sick to have someone like him. I mean, he's a bit of a I hate to use the word veteran, but he's definitely a bit of a veteran in the World Cup scene now. And it'd be cool for you guys, I think, to have him kind of as a, just almost the elder kind of statesman in the team to bounce stuff off.
For sure. And he's a good dude. We were staying with him during the US Open.
Yeah.
And I'd never really, I spoke to him a little bit, but you get to know people when you're staying with them.
Yeah.
And I got to know him pretty well, I think. And he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Just genuine and no bullshit as well, and I like that. And so I think together we're gonna have a pretty cool team, and Sasha as well.
Yeah, of course, Sasha returning as well, which is cool.
And yeah, he's a good dude, always a good dude. I think together we'll work real well. None of us have big egos.
I was just thinking that, it was on the tip of my tongue. I feel like all of you are probably pretty will be pretty mellow. There won't be anyone who's sort of I'm the team leader, trying to, wanting to be like that or anything, which would be cool.
And I think we'll all really help each other and not, be, obviously we want to beat each other.
Yeah.
But, you hear some teammates, they get a little butt heads a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think we're all pretty, if one of us is doing well and maybe I have a shit weekend, I'll still be stoked for the others.
Yeah.
And, I think they're the same.
Yeah.
And, if one of us has a sick line, and we'd always share it, I think, which is cool just to be in a team like that where it's no dramas, no bullshit, and everyone's just stoked.
It seems like they've built quite a nice, well-rounded team, I think, kind of going forward. I mean, obviously they've had, Reece Wilson, who seems like a good dude, Loris, who's just, could win win any World Cup at any time, and it's they've been, super high end, but it's cool to see, almost a bit of a rebuild for the future, and like you're saying, you'd love to stay with them and, kind of longer term, so it's cool. It seems like they've kind of almost got that same sort of vision of, between you, Sasha, and Ollie, it's a pretty young team, really, which is cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, Ollie at 20, Sasha's 18, I think.
Yeah, I guess she'll be
19.
Coming up 19 or something around there, because she'll be moving out of juniors. So.
And then Matt's not old either. Matt's 24, 25.
Yeah. I feel like he's older than that.
He was junior with Finn Isles, so...
All right. So, probably. I was thinking he was more like 30, but I mean, maybe it just feels like he's been around for a long time.
He's just won an overall.
Yeah, I think maybe that's it. His overall in 2020 makes him seem older, but no, that's pretty cool. It sounds like it's exciting year ahead for you guys, which is awesome.
Yeah, big time. Looking forward to it.
All right, we'll wrap that one up here. Just a quick catch up on on the new deal, which is awesome. So stoked to see it, and best of luck for this season.
Cheers.
I'm ready. What's up? I come from the land of down under. I can't hear you. What was that? I can't hear you. I let it be like John Lennon, the anti-serum that you don't get for poisonous venom. Read the label carefully, I'm only here for the show. I love hip-hop too much to let you feed my ego. In the key of F-U-C-K, Y-O-U. I mean, why do I owe you if you're not helping me through? I mean, why do I owe you if you're obstructing my view? Success is not my castle, just a house that's brand new. You see, I irrigate the culture, give it shape like a sculpture. Still complicated, rock like I'm supposed to be. L-I-T-Z like my DJ. Rock to the rhythm like you rock to what he plays.